Week 3 of the MLS season, Red Bull getting their first home game of the season. FC Dallas coming into town, a win and a loss. Steve Davis, who covers the team, knows all about the guys in Texas. Gives us a couple minutes here. Steve, thanks for hopping on. Mixed results for FC Dallas the first couple of weeks of the season. Win in the opener against San Jose, loss against Montreal. Both 2-1 games. Which Dallas team is it? A win or a loss? Or somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, 2-1 games that looked very different. Season opening win against San Jose, where the team looked pretty good. Actually, beat last season's shots, high total in shots, which was only 17, by 5. So that was really good on the opening week. And then last week was just kind of a stinker against Montreal, 2-1 loss, where, to be honest, Montreal came in with a good plan, executed it well. I think Laurent Courtois has got a little something going up there in Montreal this year. Sometimes teams just have stinkers where you can have one or two guys not playing well, but if everybody doesn't play well and the other team has a good plan, then you got what you had last week, which was Montreal really controlling the game. So I think the truth is probably somewhere in between with Dallas. The opening week against San Jose and last week, key figures out. Petar Musa, team's record acquisition, $10 million signing out of Benfica. He didn't play against San Jose, got his first minutes last week against Montreal. Jesus Ferreira, Paxton Pomykal, two players very important to the team. They didn't play against San Jose, did come in as substitutes against Montreal. So everybody's going to need a little bit of time to get used to each other. That said, if they don't play a little bit better than they did against Montreal, they're going to have a tough time up in New Jersey this week.
You know, Steve, that's interesting when you mentioned those three names specifically, kind of the key attacking pieces in a lot of ways for FC Dallas, who didn't play against San Jose. They get the win. They come in and they don't get the win against Montreal. To your point, is it more about those guys getting back to match fitness and maybe figuring out how do we play together with these talented guys that they have?
Yeah, I think it's all of the above. Jesus Ferreira played in the very early season, preseason opener against Miami. That was sort of a promoters game that FC Dallas wasn't even that happy about playing in, but they're offered money, so they played that one. Well, he got hurt in that match. Which literally Dallas had like 3 training sessions, so no big surprise that he would get hurt in that one. Didn't miss the whole preseason. Got back into training as that opening week of MLS season. So he hasn't been playing. Paxton Pomykal, same thing, missed most of preseason. And of course, they haven't played with Petar Musa. Musa's a good-looking player, but until he figures some things out, he's going to be, he'll need some adjustment time, just like everybody came into the league. The German Shepherd obviously is excited about Petar Musa.
Steve, give me a little bit more on Musa. You mentioned the record signing for FC Dallas, $10 million. Comes with great pedigree, right? Over from Benfica. What is it that Dallas saw in him that makes them think he's the missing piece?
Yeah, I tell you what, I've seen just a little bit in training and what I saw the other day. He's a big fellow, right? He's a guy that can play as a target, but he's also technical. He knows what to do with the ball. I see him in training, and sometimes I've seen other strikers come through Dallas. A guy like Frank O'Hara or Christian Coleman. Maybe they know what to do with the ball, but they're not as mobile. And as for a big guy, Petar Musa is very mobile. He's also just kind of carries himself like a $10 million transfer, and that's a little hard to define. But after one of the trainings where one of the younger Dallas center backs, where he just sort of literally just throws him around a little bit, and somebody says, "Hey man, why'd you do that to our kid?" And you're kind of kidding with him, and he just looks back and says, "He need to eat more." So he's got some of that about him too. So I think he's already scored. Got set up well by Asier Mendy and Bernie Kamungo. So he knows where the goal is. I think he's gonna do well for them this year. But you do have to see, over the course of the summer, playing in the heat, the travel, the adjustment, as teams figure out what he's about. Can he adjust to that? So we'll see. But it looks like a good one right now.
Steve, from a standpoint of take the big names out of it, give me one or two guys who you would define as the glue guys for FC Dallas with these injury issues and players working their way back to full fitness. Who are the coaches looking to say, hold this together for the first couple of weeks of the season while we get everybody back?
Yeah, well, I mean, you do start with Jesus Ferreira, and I think he's going to be fine. Dallas sort of changed their whole system, their base alignment into this 4-2-3, 3-4-2-1. So two forwards playing underneath a highly placed striker. They did a lot of that for Ferreira because he's not really a traditional striker. He wants to pull back a little bit, play more as a false nine, but it didn't really work last year. So he's going to be one of the underneath guys, and so a lot of it is about him, and then getting that high play striker and Petar Musa. So behind him, Asieri Yadamendi, everybody we refer to him on the broadcast as Iata. A really high quality passer, high quality connector out of the back. He plays as a six, and because he's a little bit older now, 33, maybe he doesn't have the range, but he's a guy who just really understands where to be defensively. He's kind of a Sergio Busquets starter kit that way. He doesn't really have the range, but he knows where to be. He knows how to sniff out plays defensively and sort of be in the right place at the right time. I see him do that over and over. But then once he has the ball, he's the guy that's not afraid to get the ball in traffic and then connect with the next guy going forward. He hits this great reverse pass, where he's sort of got his hips pointed to the right, and then all of a sudden the ball's going back to his left. And that really opens up defenses. So he's another one that I think you really have to keep your eye on. Now, he did come out of the match the other day at halftime. I think that was more or less precautionary. So we'll have to see. But I think they hope that he can play this week.
Steve, I appreciate you hopping on and giving the little broadcaster tip there at the end. Anytime we can shorten somebody's name, that's always a good thing for us when we can do that. Thanks for the insight. Look forward to catching up with you. And thanks for hopping on. Give us a couple minutes.
Appreciate you guys having me on.